going to get things going here in a couple of minutes. Ultimate General Civil War Union Campaign. Give some time for folks to get in. Going to be multi-streaming on both Twitch and YouTube today, as always. Just going to get a few things edited over here on YouTube for a second. Today I'm going to be playing up through the Battle of Stones River, however long that may take. Probably an hour and a half to 2 hours, I would guess. So I'll take a few minutes. I'll be watching the chat from both YouTube and Twitch, streaming live in one place. I won't be able to type responses, but I will be talking my responses. So if you find yourself in either on Twitch or on YouTube, just give me a shout out. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. And I'll probably wait till about 5 after, and then I'll go ahead and get started. First battle today is going to be Bayou Fourche. And once we do that one, we'll get into the big one today, which will be the Battle of Chickamauga. Alright, so while I'm waiting to get started here, this one's going to give me $96,000 and 6,000 men, along with 5 reputation points. I should be facing a relatively poorly trained and equipped army that's going to be outnumbered by my forces. Not by much, though, at least not in this battle. He'll have about 24,000 men and 90 guns up against my 30,000 men and 36 guns. Adam Jenkins, hello. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Where are you watching from, Adam? So this is a battle. Took place after the Siege of Vicksburg. This happens near Little Rock, Arkansas. As it says in the introduction here, it's an important capital of a state that has seceded from the Union. Kohler in 794, what is up? Oh, Adam, you're in Arkansas. That's awesome, because this battle is in Arkansas that we're fighting today. Or maybe in northern Louisiana. I'm trying to remember now. It's near Arkansas. It sounds like a Louisiana name. I'm looking it up real quick to get a little bit of the details here. All right, so it was near Bayou Fourche, Arkansas, present-day Little Rock. All right, awesome. So we are fighting a battle in Arkansas today. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. And as I said, most of the live stream today is going to be taken up with the Battle of Chickamauga, and we'll talk some about that battle as we get into that. But let's go ahead and dive right in. For those of you who are new to this live stream series, I'm playing it on Brigadier General difficulty just because I'm so distracted by the chat and talking to you guys, which is the purpose of this, so I'm not complaining about that. it kind of takes away from my ability to focus on the game enough to do justice to a major general or even a legendary campaign. So we're going to be assaulting a fortified position on a hill here, and I'm thinking I'd rather hit that fortification from this side if at all possible. So I honestly don't remember this battle. It's been a long time since I fought it. It's Arkansas, huh? I've been to Arkansas a couple of times. Little Rock, I want to say Camden, Arkansas, if that's, I think that's south of Little Rock. I think I've actually been there 3 times total. I spoke at Bryant High School just outside of Little Rock. So I'm thinking I should be able to cross right here. No. Aha, that stinks. I thought these looked like they could be fords. So, all right. So we're gonna lead with the 1-star units. Oh, I've actually only got 1 on the field right now. All the rest are the better ones. I love the fact it's one of those quirks of our language and of our names that, of course, we have Kansas and then we have Arkansas, which is basically spelled with, like it should be Arkansas, but yeah, that's how it goes. All right, here we go. So these guys are going to come in on that side of the river. So I guess that's helpful. I really have no idea where his troops are going to be. But right now I've got him by about 7,400 men. You do not like Arkansas? Have you lived there all your life, or is it somewhere you ended up for work or something? I'm not a huge fan of the attack I have to make here, but it's reality. Are we in range? Yeah, I guess we are in range to be able to fire on these guys. Alright, let's speed things along a little bit here. You do not like the word Arkansas. Alright, we got some skirmishers in the woods here. Alright, we're just going to go right at these guys, I think. Just clear them off of this position. I vaguely remember this battle. Alright, so he's got guns up here, man. I do not like this position at all. I want to get these guns up on this hill, though. Kansas with R at the beginning, yeah. It's like the Pirates version of Kansas. Arkansas. Hey, Luke, what's going on? Oh my gosh, that's where all his artillery is. My goodness, Buford's going to get slaughtered. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me pause for just a second, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a bunch of skirmishers over here into these woods. Kohler, yeah, Kohler, you don't see all the chat because, let me pause for a second so I can adjust this. You're watching on Twitch, and there's a lot of other folks that are watching on YouTube. I have something, I'm using a program or website called Restream so that I can stream to both places at the same time, both YouTube and Twitch. And the chats are combined on one screen for me. So you can only see what other Twitch people are saying, and the YouTube people can only see the other YouTube people, but I can see both at the same time. Alright, yeah, Buford's gonna get lit up over there. I gotta go in and deal, but he put all that artillery in one spot. Alright, we gotta stop these guys for a second. This is gonna be ugly over here. I'm kind of... It's just a difficult predicament for my troops because of how I'm lined up with half of them on one side of the river. No cavalry, and oh, no worries, Kohler. That's why we do this, so we can chat, we can have these conversations. No, cavalry's pretty much useless in the woods anyway, so they wouldn't have done me a whole lot of good against this artillery in the woods. Plus, with these battles where I have limited amounts of units, in this case 15 brigades. Alright, we're just gonna do this. I didn't want to waste brigade space on cavalry for a battle like this. Hey, Dushan, sorry, I just now saw your post about, that's awesome, congratulations. Sorry, there's a lot of chat and I only look over it every so often and sometimes I miss what's up at the top. Yeah, melee cavalry, unfortunately, in the woods is almost useless. You have to catch them out in the open to make it worthwhile. And O'Hare's Ohio Outlaws, what are you doing? Yeah, these skirmishers are going to get jacked up, but the point is I'm trying to deal with the artillery. Oh, Revere, my goodness. This is just, it's a setup for failure. This battle is just, it's a rough one. Hey, Dub, what's going on? Oh, Kohler, don't worry. If you go back and watch my my YouTube channel, you'll see I do all right for myself. I've made it all the way to Washington on the legendary campaign for Confederates. This is just a tricky battle to fight when you're also watching a chat half the time. And it's one I haven't fought in a long, long time. Don't worry, I will more than make up for it when I get to Chickamauga. That's why I'm playing on Brigadier General difficulty on this campaign, because it's pretty hard to manage the battle while you're also looking over the chat screen on another computer. I've got about I don't know, I haven't looked at it lately, but I think it's something like 1,600 hours on this game now. This is one of my least favorite battles to fight. So I've lost 3,000 men to his 700. That almost never happens for me. But it's about to be okay here as soon as I drive him out of this position. Let's see how many guns he's got left. So I've taken out 20 of his cannon already. He's still got 70 left. Chancellorsville with the rebels, inevitably it ends up a bloody mess when you get to Chancellorsville Crossing, but I actually, what I did at least on the Legendary campaign is I held back most of the extra men that I had, and on a multi-day battle like that, you keep them from scaling by waiting to throw your reinforcements in until after the first day. So I basically, on the first day of the battle, I only went up to the edge of the woods and then didn't go any further to try and attack him. And then after the first day of the battle, I throw in all my reinforcements to even the odds to where I'm basically not outnumbered by all that many, and then it makes it a whole lot easier. But it still ends up a bloodbath when you get into the last phase where you've got to take Chancellor's Crossing. There's really not much you can do to avoid that. But Gettysburg was actually fairly easy on the Confederate campaign. Alright, this is going to be a whole lot easier now. There's really only a couple of battles on the Confederate side that I found really, really insanely hard. One of them is Antietam, which I think is next to impossible on Legendary difficulty, to the point where I just skip the battle altogether and take the hit to my prestige. Alright, let's hold up right here. Advance up a little bit here and try to take out some more of these guns. No, I'm not Colonel Kelly. Colonel Kelly's got some really good tactics. The only thing that bothers me about his campaigns is he never shows the beginning screen, the end screen, or anything in between. All he does is kind of throw up his own graphic that tells you the numbers. And I'm not calling him a liar. I'm not questioning that at all. I'm just saying I'd really like to see that part, because some of the numbers for me, from my own experience in playing the Legendary campaign, I'm having a hard time grasping how his enemy could have so few troops when my enemy had so many, with the scaling that's involved in the battle. So I'd really just like to see the numbers on his campaign to understand how it is that he's getting the numbers that he gets. I just think it would help a lot more if I could see that stuff. But I don't question his tactics. His tactics are very good on the battles. Adam, I totally understand. Naps are wasted on the young. In fact, I believe my wife is taking a nap right now, so you'd be in good company. Alright, let's turn and try to get in Hawthorne's flank a little bit here. I gotta get these stinking skirmishers out of here, because they are just lighting Sully up. Look at that. He's lost 700 men and killed 100. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Kohler, as far as the scaling goes, but I've had similar numbers to his in my battles, and the enemy had way, way more men that I faced. So that alone doesn't explain it to me. And even keeping the enemy's force pool low doesn't explain it either, because I've had battles where the enemy, his force pool, the thing you see in between battles on the campaign, had something like 40 or 50,000 fewer men than I actually faced in the battle itself. Alright, finally, these guys are driven off. Alright, let's get up and hit these batteries again. So I've basically already lost as many men as I'm going to gain from this battle. So this may be one of those battles where it's just better off not to even fight it at this point. Alright, we got to back Hampton out a little bit. I'm going to speed things up a little bit here for a minute. This is a mess, this battle. I can't do anything the way I want it to. Alright, once I get these 20-pounders into place, that's going to help a lot. He's got a lot of mounted infantry units here. So he's lost about 4,000 men. He's also lost 50 guns. So that's kind of important for me. I'm going to back these guys up a little bit. Now we're going to even these odds out and start taking out a lot of his men. Yeah, go ahead, bring the guns back. I'm going to sit right on the edge of these woods. See, now here's where cavalry would come in handy once they're out in the open like this. I could get them up there and I could hit some of these batteries, but I'll do the same job with my infantry on his flanks. Ah, hey Kohler, you found me. I'm gonna pull these guys out. Now that we're fighting on even ground, now I start inflicting some losses on him, especially if I keep these guys parked right here at the edge of these woods. Now I'm gonna I want to finish off this battery here. This battery's about to be toast. So is that one. There we go. Alright, he's down to just 23 guns out of the original 90 that he had. Oh, look at this. He's going to charge right into me. So now what I can finally do is I'm just about in a position where I can occupy these fortifications. Whoa, Buford, turn your flank. This is one of those battles that I may let keep going if it allows me to after the finish of the battle, because of the casualties I'll be able to inflict in the last moments. Finally able to get up and get around on his flank a little bit. No, not the not the fortifications. Do I use 24 pounders? Yes. On this one, since I was attacking and I knew it would take me a while, I didn't use them, but you'll see those quite a bit in Chickamauga here in a few minutes. Oh yeah, let that guy break into my rear. That'd be perfect. No, don't go in those fortifications. Here he comes again. This is one of, like I said, this is one of my least favorite battles. The sooner I get out of this one, the better off I think I'll be. Gonna be losing. It didn't even let me continue it anyway. 9,000 men. Brutal. That's one of my highest casualties on any minor battle that I've had. Captured a ton of guns, but nothing really of any use. All right, let's get ready for the big one here. Battle of Chickamauga. So you can see he's got 96 to 100,000 men. I don't think he'll have that many at Chickamauga. He's also going to get, I'm going to get 20 reputation points for this one, so I don't think I'll spend any, because I'll take that morale boost over any additional things that I could get from spending the points. And it's hard to tell how many men he'll have at Chickamauga, because the first phase of the battle, you don't see that many anyway. Yeah, I've just got that one at Salem Church, that little defeat that I had that did not go real well for me. All right. Gosh. I'm going to go medicine, because this next battle is going to be crazy on casualties. Oh, yeah, you're right, Kohler. Fredericksburg, those batteries can rack up a ton of kills over at Marie's Heights. Got another. I got so many major generals sitting in my pool right now that I don't know what to do with them all. I could put some of them in charge of a brigade, I guess, if I had to. So history guy, my general, me, has finally hit lieutenant general. So I'm going to give them defender status here. So I'll spend my money first on buying up some more brigade commanders. I've got some sitting in my pool already. So it's going to take a little while to get refit and ready for Chickamauga, just because there's so much that I need to do. Let me take a look real quick and see how many corps I can take into this battle. Alright, so only 2. So I basically have to pack 2 corps full with my best troops. Which means having to sacrifice some things like skirmishers, for example. So I've got 20 pounders. Let me go ahead and supplement the long-ranged rifled artillery with some smoothbores as well. See if I can find where some of those are. Here's some 24-pound howitzers. There's Napoleons there. Some more Napoleons. So I've got Napoleons, 24 pounders. Let's get one more in that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess we're good with the lieutenant colonel there. Alright, so then 10 pounders, 10 pounders. I'm going to get the cavalry out. Cavalry are not going to be much use to me at Chickamauga. It's almost all in the woods. I've got some units that are already pretty well full here that I'm going to go ahead and drop back over. Because Chickamauga being a multi-day battle, I'm going to wait to throw in these 14,000 reinforcements until after the first day. Kohler, so what I do, and I did a video on this in my Confederate legendary campaign, but basically what I do in a multi-day battle like this is I'm not going to reinforce most of these units. I will do that after the first day of the battle. That way it prevents the scaling altogether. Although there does seem to be a sweet spot where once you hit a certain point, he doesn't scale anymore. And it's kind of always tricky to find where that is. Hey, Janice, what's up? I just fought a really ugly battle at Bayou Force that did not go real well for me. I won the battle, but lost like 9,000 men. Just wasn't my best day, that's for sure. All right. So I'm limited to 2 corps in this one. So I'll max these corps out. My 1st and 2nd corps. But I'm not going to reinforce the brigades. All right, so let's take a look and see. One last thing I want to double check, make sure. Okay, I'm good on supply on both of those. Okay. Now here's the only tricky part, Kohler, when I'm talking about the idea of scaling is that you can't change what kind of guns you have. And I've got 10,000 Harper's Ferry 1855s available to me. So it gets a little tricky when it comes to the guns because you may run out of a certain type of gun.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to switch over some of these other units to Harper's Ferry 1855s. Okay. So let's see what I'm dealing with. My Vanguard and then my Tomorrow reinforcements. All right, so 75,000 men against his 29,600. Now, that's not indicative of what his force is going to look like because he'll have more. This is just the opening phases of this battle. Chickamauga was just a general's nightmare. Just because you couldn't see much more than what was directly in front of you in this battle. I don't think there's a lot to be gained by me trying to hold on here. So honestly, I'm just going to try to save my forces. At least right there. Maybe I'll take them down this way to meet up with the others. Because he's got so many men, it's going to be brutal. But here at least, I can at least cause some casualties. None of these troops are actually mine. They don't make up any part of my force that I take into this battle. What turned the tide at Chickamauga was a mistake that was made because of the lack of visibility where I think it was General Rosecrans, who was in command of the Union Army, thought he had a hole in his line that didn't actually exist, and he took some of his men to plug the hole, and in doing so actually created a real hole in his line, which was exploited by the Confederates. This was one of the bloodiest battles of the American Civil War. I think something like 35,000 casualties combined, which puts it above most. I mean, that's quite a bit more than Antietam. Of course, Antietam was a one-day battle. It's about 2/3 of the numbers that happened at Gettysburg. But of course, there were far fewer men at Chickamauga than there were at Gettysburg. So I mean, you're looking at, I don't know, 30% casualties on either side. One of Braxton Bragg's lone significant triumphs as a commanding general for the Confederates in a battle. So here comes massive numbers of men. But again, I'm not too worried about sacrificing these troops because they're not part of my ongoing army. This battle took place right near the border of Georgia and Tennessee. And it was interesting that a lot of the men who fought at Gettysburg fought at this battle as well. It was one of the rare occurrences where you had troops who fought in both the Eastern Theater and the Western Theater, because General Lee had sent Longstreet with his corps, or a good bit of his corps, west, I think by train. So these were men that had fought at Chancellorsville in May, fought at Gettysburg in July, and then fought here at Chickamauga in September. You can't imagine. I mean, I just can't even wrap my mind around being involved in 3 insanely bloody battles like that. There's my mounted infantry. This is also one of the first major battles where you had Spencer repeating rifles making a huge difference. These troops under Minty, for example, the mounted infantry that were armed with those, they held up against pretty superior numbers. All right, he outnumbers me 3-1, but I'm going to take as many of them with me as I can. Yeah, Janice, that's true. The numbers were fairly even in this battle compared to Chancellorsville, Fredericksburg, Gettysburg in the east, where you had the Union with huge advantages in manpower. Oh, hey, we ran into some of his units here. And none of this matters as far as winning the battle. It's just a matter of trying to inflict casualties on him to hurt him for later parts of the battle. Yeah, Kohler, you're right about that. And then, of course, the usual breaking to my rear that happens in this game sometimes. Go occupy these guys so they don't come down and deal with my guns. Yeah, get back across the bridge. Yeah, see, now these guys are back here. But I don't have anybody on this side to deal with right now. Yeah, we'll stay right where we're at. Oh, he's gonna get into my guns. It's all right. Like I said, this is all about Just trying to inflict casualties on him to hurt him for later in the battle. Alright, wiped out one of his units. Alright, there's the end of phase 1. Now we've got to just open up the battlefield a little bit here. Now, these are actually some of my units. And again, we're just going to try to delay and cause casualties. I'm going to break off some skirmishers here just to know what's coming this way. And these guys are my sacrificial lambs. I'm just going to leave them here as long as I can. Let them keep causing casualties. Problem with those repeating rifles, of course, is that you pretty quickly run out of ammunition. Alright, so I've inflicted about 3,300 casualties. Lost about 900 men. It's not bad. These are 20-pounders, so I'll keep them back. Here comes his reinforcement, so he'll be attacking that crossing pretty soon. Alright, let's back off here. Now he's got infantry coming down on me. Now, if you play this as the Confederates and you can't take these crossings by the time this hour and a half's over, you lose the battle. All right, here we go. Does killing the enemy general? It does, at least for that battle, because it removes any benefits that that general gives you. So, for example, my guy's got certain benefits that he gives to my corps as far as ammunition goes and things like that. So I would think at least those things would be affected by that. But beyond that, no, I guess probably not. And I've had generals killed just to have them still be alive at the, like, at least those generals, the corps commanders. I think they reappear after the battle even if they're killed. It's not like you have to replace them. And corps commanders weren't typically killed. It was really, really rare that it happened. I think a notable example is like Reynolds at Gettysburg. I think Leonidas Polk was a corps commander in the Confederate Army. John Sedgwick for the Union at Spotsylvania. A couple Army commanders. Well, actually only one Army commander. Two Army commanders I can think of. Albert Sidney Johnston for the Confederates and James McPherson during the Atlanta campaign for the Union. That's the only two times I can think of an Army commander being killed in a battle. Okay, John Payne, that makes sense. And that may be what I'm thinking of as my own personal guy. Any others? That makes sense. The others, and honestly, by the time you get into about 1864, you have lieutenant generals to spare. I usually end up having lieutenant generals commanding divisions because I've got so many of them. All right, he's kind of given up trying to take these crossings. And of course, none of this matters as far as winning the battle. At least not for me. It looks like we're pretty much done for the time being with any action. For the enemy, I don't know, maybe somebody else can speak to this, but I've honestly not paid enough attention to be able to tell you. Because I think it changes anyway. I think they pretty much keep the generals historical. And I seem to recall killing Stonewall Jackson at a battle as the Union and then seeing him later. Yeah, John Payne's actually right about generals being killed. Let me see if I can find an example of that on mine. Somebody's attacking. Oh, it's up here. Okay. So right here, Wilder, he was killed in action. And so look right here. Look, my command and efficiency are 0. So yeah, the brigades losing commanders and divisions losing commanders, it is a big, big deal as far as how your men perform on the field. Oh, he's going to come back now, is he? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. At this point, I don't mind losing these guys. It isn't going to affect the battle at all. And they did their jobs. They inflicted a lot of casualties on the enemy. He's lost almost 6,000 men already. And that's going to cripple him for the rest of this battle. All right, Wilder, time to get out of there. He gave up over here, which is good because these are the men that matter to me. Oh, here he comes. With artillery first. Okay. Whatever works for you there, dude. Alright, we're ready to move on to the big part of the battle, but we get to go back to camp first, and this is where I'm going to reinforce my troops. Okay, so he's going to have 61,000 men. I've currently got 69,000, but I'll be up over 80 by the time I'm done here. So I'll start getting them up to about 2,000, and then we'll see where I'm at that point. Except for units like this. Of course, I got a 3-star unit here. They may only get up to about 18 before I have to start putting veterans in. I may come back to that and get veterans, but we'll see.
Sir, yes, sir!
All right, we're good on all those.
Yes, sir. Form line.
A lot of these Harper's Ferries. Oh, nope, let's go right there. Of course, I had to replenish my supplies. Well, I didn't actually use any supplies so far. We'll go up to 1750 for now on the 3 stars. Gotcha, John Payne. Yeah, so John Payne, for any of you, I don't know if anybody's still watching on, I think there's a couple folks watching on Twitch. So what John Payne said was, if you move your own character, your avatar, history guy in my case, the first corps commander, if you move him to a brigade command and he gets killed, then he doesn't come back. But if he stays as a corps commander and he gets killed, he will reappear at the end of the battle. So these are some of my less experienced, less equipped troops down here.
Yes, sir.
And those ones I'll max out to 2,500 because it's relatively inexpensive to do that. You can see I'm actually going to run out of men before I run out of money, so that's kind of a good problem to have. That means I'll be able to go with more experienced troops moving forward and buy better weapons.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's see who else has got low numbers. So I'm using up all these Harper's Ferry 1855s. I had about 10,000 of them at the start of the battle. Yeah, HOI4, absolutely. Chickamauga is a really crazy battle. It takes probably more micromanaging than any. You can be doing really, really well and just have somebody appear out of nowhere, which is how the battle really went. There's a quote I want to find, and I always read whenever I play this battle. And I'll see if I can find it for you guys before I start here in just a minute. Oh, I got another Major General sitting here. I'll replace him with a Colonel. I don't want to be throwing a Major General in command of a really inexperienced brigade. Alright, we're just about out of men here. We got a Lieutenant Colonel here. Well, we don't need that. I like to have them nice and round numbers, so I'm just going to go 1850 here. Okay. Let's take a look at where things stand now. All right, so I'll be at 84,000 men, 144 guns. His 61,600. That should do the job relatively well. It's just a matter of managing the troops now. So before I do that, let me go ahead and find that quote for you real quick, because this really just gives you a perfect understanding of what this battle was like. If I can find it. I thought that it was in the Wikipedia for this battle, but it doesn't appear to be there, so... So here you go. The land between Chickamauga Creek and the Lafayette Road was gently rolling but almost completely wooded. In the woods, no officer above brigadier could see all his command at once, and even the brigadiers often could see nobody's troops but their own and perhaps the enemy's. Chickamauga would be a classic soldiers' battle, but it would test officers at every level of command in ways they had not previously been tested. An additional complication was that each army would be attempting to fight a shifting battle while shifting its own position. Each general would have to conduct a battle while shuffling his own units northward toward an enemy whose position he could only get the vaguest idea. Strange and wonderful opportunities would loom out of the leaves, vines, and gunsmoke, be touched and vaguely sensed, and then fade away again into the figurative fog of confusion that bedeviled men on both sides. In retrospect, victory for either side would look simple when unit positions were reviewed on a neat map. But in Chickamauga's torn and smoky woodlands, nothing was simple. And that comes from the book Six Armies in Tennessee by Stephen Woodworth. And that really captures beautifully what Chickamauga was all about. Yeah, by setting your units to rookie and cranking them as high as possible. All right. So this one's all about just managing your troops and managing your position in the most effective way possible and holding all of the objectives at the end of the day. And it opens up in stages, so it's like little pieces at a time. Reinforcements are constantly coming on both sides. I have no desire whatsoever to dive into this thing with just these few units. And this is definitely a battle where skirmishers play a really important role. So you can feel out where the enemy is. And it's been a long time since I fought this on the Union side. So these Jay's Mill and Brotherton Road are the first two objectives here. And they do need to be captured, as you can see here. Holding Kelly's Field, Brotherton Cabin, Vineyard Field, Lee Gordon Mills, which is all the way on the southern end of the battlefield, Jay's Mills and Brotherton Road, and lose 50% or less than 50% of your army. Yeah, skirmishers definitely useful on this battle. And he's going to be out here somewhere probably with skirmishers of his own. And again, this one's all about managing things. Like right now, I've got a 3-to-1 advantage, but he's going to get a ton of reinforcements as this goes along. And I'm going to try to keep together as much as I can. All right, here's some skirmishers. And there's some more. Yeah. For those of you watching on Twitch, HOI4 Pro just said on YouTube, he said, lose 50% of my army. Ha, I'll lose 65% at least. All right. Need some more skirmishers. This is the problem. I mean, you can think you're in good shape and just somebody appears out of nowhere and gets into your flank. Looks like this objective is left wide open at the moment. And already he's getting reinforcements. So I'll move these 24-pounders up a little bit. Let's put these skirmishers over here. But keep the 20-pounders back. And I'm just going to hang tight right here. I have no reason to advance further than this. I'll move some skirmishers over here. Oh, found some of his guns. They're probably sitting down here at Jay's Mill. Oh, look, he's got some skirmishers parked behind me. I'm just trying to spread these skirmishers out. I want to be able to see as much of the battlefield as I possibly can. HOI4 says, cavalry is about as useful as scissors without blades in this battle. You're absolutely right. Cavalry's pretty much useless in this battle. Take a page out of the Russians' book, throw troops at the enemy until they are tired and give up. Dushine, I'm actually not sure I want to take that approach on this one. I know I've got a manpower advantage, and it may be that I come to that once we get to the end of this battle and all the troops are on the field. But for now, what I want to largely do, because I'm not even in a position to win the battle right now because most of the objectives aren't even in the battlefield. Right now, I want to inflict casualties. I want to wear him down while keeping a position of strength so that I'm killing more of him than he is killing of me until I'm in a position where I can then advance on his weakened forces and win the battle. Let him throw his men at me as much as possible. Like right here, for example. He's going to send Govan at Hampton's Legion, which means my Hampton's Legion skirmishers are going to hit his flank. Here comes my reinforcements. Lots of guns, lots of 20-pounders, which again, not real useful when I'm firing onto people in the woods, but they can be useful like right here in taking out Robertson, who I need to get away from. Oh, it is pouring down rain pretty hard here right now. Not on the battlefield, in real life. And see, this is why I keep skirmishers out here in the middle like this, to keep surprises like Ector from happening. So let's send Avenir's Revenge over there. Oh, come on. I should not be getting flanked by artillery that's over there. Oh, we should try and send these skirmishers to kill Nathan Bedford Forrest. Alright, so we're going to set these 20-pounders, these rifled guns, on firing on his artillery. I'll move the Napoleons up. Now that I have the road, he'll send everything at the cabin. Yeah, you're probably right about that. And here come the reinforcements here. History guy, get away from these guys. Don't want to lose him for the rest of this battle. Wow. It is a downpour outside here in Ohio. I'm going to wipe these skirmishers out. Alright, so far, so good. You can see the numbers. Outnumber him 4-1. Of the units that are on the field right now, he's lost half their strength. go ahead and slowly advance a little further. Thanks, Kohler. That's definitely was on my list of priorities, was knowing about your bodily functions. Alright, let's go ahead and get key skirmishers back with their parent unit. I'm going to hold tight with Paper Color Brigade right there. So this is really going about as well as I can hope for right now as far as inflicting casualties on the enemy. Alright, Avenir's Revenge. See, this is where it gets tricky sometimes. I gotta deal with this artillery. He's probably got other men nearby, but I'll send some skirmishers down. At least to cover my flank. No, Robert, you're good. We're just in the first phases of the Battle of Chickamauga. So a lot left to be played. I've been going for about an hour, but it's not quite near the end, for sure. Kohler, that's true to an extent, but the woods protect him from the cannon to a degree. They certainly still help, but you'll exhaust a ton of supplies if you rely solely on cannon to clear the woods out. Alright, I'm going to send these guys in. I'm going to wipe this battery out. Alright, so we're on to the next phase now. Yep, that battery's toast. Oh, Robert, I don't know. The push notifications. I have mine set on my phone, like you said. So I have notifications on my phone, so they pop up whenever a live stream starts for somebody that I follow. Just with the little, hitting the little bell on the channel, so that you get those notifications. Maybe somebody else can help explain better. I mean, if there's a better way to do that. Wow, lightning. Hey, my apologies in advance, guys. Lots of thunder and lightning right now. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and save because I'm at least a little bit concerned I may lose power here. And if I do lose power, I'll come back and finish the live stream as soon as the power comes back on. But it's storming pretty bad here right now, so if I disappear, you know why. Okay. Yeah, supply would be an issue in this battle for sure. Okay. Let's go ahead and start occupying these fortifications, but then also plugging the gaps in between. Alright, we got some dismounted, or some mounted infantry here giving me fits in the rear. So I'm playing this pretty cautious because I'm the defender on this one. Other than this objective right here, for the most part, all I have to do is defend. I don't have to be too aggressive in this battle, which is really good because I don't want to be aggressive in this battle. Yeah, Kohler, I hear what you're saying about morale damage And John Payne saying the same thing. And I tend to use big guns. I much prefer the rifled guns to smoothbores in a lot of these battles. Let's take a look at the numbers here. So I'm up to 41,000, lost about 700 men. He's down to just 13,000. So I really could push this if I want, because I've got the numbers by far. But it'll get more and more one-sided the longer this battle goes. Chatham's enormous division moves to support the rebels. So you can see already having some supply issues. And so far, the only supplies I have are Drakes. So we got to get these guys over there. All right, let's take out these batteries. I don't have much artillery. Not really any artillery on this side. Yeah, HOI, I'm looking forward to Grand Tactician as well. And their developer, the one developer I've been talking to, has been really awesome in staying in contact with me so far. He was the one, I don't know, you probably heard me talk about, he was kind enough to send me some product keys for the downloadable content for 7 Years War, and I'm looking forward to getting to know that game a little better and reviewing a campaign at some point. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to following how that one develops. I think it's going to be really good. All right, let's take out this battery. And these batteries. Move these Napoleons up. 24 pounders are already up. Alright, I want to get these 20 pounders firing on that battery. Let's take him down. You really do have to park units on all the objectives because he will inevitably sneak behind in these woods and take one of them. So I'm going to start throwing some skirmishers back there. Alright, 3 minutes left, and then I think the southern part of this battlefield will open up. This honestly is going about as well as I could hope on a battle like Chickamauga. And having a big advantage in manpower certainly helps. And the Union is way, way easier on this battle than the Confederate side is. Especially when you get to the Confederates on Legendary mode. Alright, this is where it gets tricky because there's a lot of ground to cover. And I think I could probably hold it all, but I don't necessarily have to. Let's take a look here. So the middle objective requires us to hold Horseshoe Ridge, which I don't think is even a part of this battle yet. I think that's in the later phases if it goes to the next phase. This part I've already been in position, so let's take a look and see. I think we can probably sacrifice one of the objectives, but maybe not. I guess there's not really any reason to. I can definitely hold all of this with the troops that I have. Alright, let me pause for one more second here, because you get kind of separated out a little bit on this one. That's not a real enjoyable fortification there. And this is, again, one of those places where I feel like he might sneak in on me. So I'm gonna shift some units down here. I'm gonna break off a bunch of skirmishers. Send them out a little bit just to see what's coming. Yeah, the Confederates teleport behind you. That's pretty much how it feels. Oh, supplies! No! No, no, no! Those I desperately need. There's a perfect example of getting messed up by surprise troops. Yeah, you know what? Oh, man, that really stinks losing those supplies. He's going to try to charge right through me and grab these supplies. Yeah, the leader of my supply wagon was killed. May as well start over now. Yes, that's a loss from which I cannot recover. I'm much less concerned about losing a captain and much more concerned about losing the supplies that he was in command of. Yep, see, there he is, trying to sneak around on me at the objective. Alright, I'm going to put a brigade up here to protect. Oh, these skirmishers are driving me nuts. I'm going to have to park some up here. I think probably just as a normal practice on this particular battle, it just makes sense just to break off skirmishers from every brigade and just put them all over the place so I can see every last bit of this battlefield and not be surprised like that. Hey William, how's it going? Kohler, I'm honestly, I admit I am not as familiar with the Battle of Chickamauga as I ought to be to know kind of what they did. But by this point in the war, the tactics were slowly starting to catch up to the weapons. And that's why by the time you get into 1864, you see fortifications everywhere, entrenchments everywhere, because they finally figured out that standing in an open field and firing at each other was just not going to work with rifles that could be effective at 300 yards. All right, I'm going to bring these guys out and get on his flank a little bit. He's not even showing up on the southern end of the field yet. He's got 48,000 men left. So I've got him by, what, 29,000 men on the field. I'm going to park Statham right there. Whiting, I'm just going to send all the way up. And I'm going to go ahead and bring these guns out of this field because I get a little nervous there. But let's park skirmishers back here to cover the rear. CYA, so to speak. Covering my butt. And most of the action's right here. This unit might dissolve if I hit him enough. Yep, there he goes. Beeper man saying, push your units, your southern units east. You're gonna get hit hard on your left. So that's what I was starting to wonder, if maybe he's just not gonna attack me, and I just need to kind of show up on him. So I'll start moving them ever so slightly over. I'll keep a few down here just to cover. He looks like he's just gonna throw everything he's got against my left, like you said. Oh, hey, look at that. Alright, just out of an abundance of caution, at least for now, let's pull these guys back. Now here's one rare moment where cavalry might come in handy if I had 3 or 4 units of cavalry just to hit all these batteries at once. Yeah, he's basically got his whole army over here. Oh, Major General John Gibbon wounded. All right, we're gonna light these batteries up here. Let him have his temporary little feeling of victory over here. It won't last. Of course, the question here is, can I get these men all the way up there? Of course, they'll be exhausted. In time to make a difference before this phase of the battle is over. I don't think the guns will get there. All right, let's see what the numbers look like now. I've got him by 33,000 men. More importantly, let's see how many guns he's down to. He's down to just 93. I'll just at least get him going in that direction, then I'll micromanage him when I get there. Once these guns get settled, I'll start moving them forward again once I've got my battle line secure here. Supplies. Yes, Chickamauga is a big fat mess, and if you could talk to General Rosecrans and General Bragg, they probably would say the exact same thing. Chickamauga was a big fat mess. Especially Rosecrans would say that. So I'm trying to remember. I did. Some of you may have seen the video that I did over the weekend. It was a couple weeks in the making, where I talked about some of the connections between the founding fathers of America and their descendants who fought in the American Civil War. And I only touched on a few. I mean, there were so many more than the ones that I talked about. But one of them had a grandson or a great-grandson who was killed at Chickamauga, and I'm trying to remember who it was. I'm looking back through my notes here. Robert, I'm trying to think. I bet I probably have. I would have to go back and look to see who the publishers were of some of the books that I've read. But I wouldn't be the least bit surprised that I probably read something from the company that your sister works for. That's a pretty cool job that she's got. All right, we've stabilized things here. He's got a ton of brigades bunched up in this area right here. And that's where we're going to push through and break him. All right, last phase, I think. That's awesome, Robert. That's really cool. I found out, I was just reading today, that Alexander Hamilton had a grandson who actually served under Custer in the Indian Wars and was actually killed in 1868 leading a charge against some of the Indians on the plains. Alright, let's go ahead and get some of these guns back up, and they'll come up and meet the supplies. Custer wrote that before Little Bighorn. Yes, makes sense. A lot of people don't know Custer had a brother and a cousin who also were killed with him at Little Bighorn, and I believe his brother won the Medal of Honor maybe twice. I'm trying to remember. I think it was his brother Thomas Custer. I'm gonna look that up. There were three brothers, so two of George Custer's brothers were killed at Little Bighorn, and he did. Thomas Custer won the Medal of Honor twice. And Custer was actually, his birthplace is in Harrison County, Ohio. It's about, I don't know, it's less than an hour from where I live. And there's a memorial there, historical site. I believe Custer's remains, what they recovered of them, are buried at West Point at the military academy. Alright, so we've turned the tide here in the little tricky part that we had. We'll just keep everybody else parked on these objectives and just start moving up now. I've got them by 35,000 men. We'll get these guys resupplied. And then we'll start pushing them back. That's interesting, Robert. Yeah, I know that's I think a lot of the reason why people think of Custer as full of himself have to do with probably how he dressed and also kind of the bravado that he showed and almost maybe an arrogance. But people forget he was a fantastic soldier, especially in the Civil War. There's a reason that he had the reputation that he did. There's a reason why, as such a young officer, he got breveted to Major General. He earned the reputation that he had as a good soldier. Definitely a incredibly brave guy. Maybe too much so. I've always really enjoyed the miniseries Son of the Morning Star, which I think was really well done and kind of showed Custer for who he was. Right now I am I just started in today on the I listen to a lot of audiobooks because I travel a lot for my job with Rachel's Challenge, and so I listen to a lot of audiobooks, and right now I'm listening to Ron Chernow's biography of Alexander Hamilton. It's the one that famously was read by Lin-Manuel Miranda, the guy who wrote the musical Hamilton. It's what inspired him to write that musical, and I'm about 3 chapters in, and it's already really fascinating. It's 36 hours long on the audio version from Audible, but well worth it if you're interested in such things. All right, Avenir's Revenge may be getting more than he can handle right now. So let's go ahead and pull him back a little bit. We'll bring some help up. I'm gonna move these 24-pounders up. Get these guys a little closer to the supplies. Yeah, I've got like 5 credits on Audible that I haven't used yet because I get these really insanely long books, like the one that I just finished up on World War I that I've talked about before that was 30 plus hours long. So it takes me a really long time to get through an audiobook, even with all the travel that I do. HOI, what kind of cookies are you making? I'm a big fan of cookies. Alright, let's get up on these guys' flank a little bit. Alright, I've got him by 30, almost 38,000 men now. Just completely decimating his army. So for those of you who follow my other live stream series playing on Hearts of Iron, which is every Tuesday and Friday at 1 o'clock, my Tuesday live stream, and I'll post this in Discord as well, is going to be pushed back a little bit, probably till maybe 2 o'clock New York time, maybe even 2:30. I've got a Skype meeting with our office in Colorado for Rachel's Challenge at 1 o'clock. But as soon as that is over, I will definitely be live with my Hearts of Iron live stream. And we played our second episode of the multiplayer Hearts of Iron game that we're playing, and boy did that get crazy. That one will go live next Saturday after we play episode 3, but surprisingly I end up at war. I'm Russia, and I thought I'd end up at war with all the fascists, but I ended up at war with the Allies instead. I invaded Romania for their oil, and Romania joined the Allies, and I ended up at war with all the Allies. So that'll be next Saturday. Salted caramel and walnut. Oh, that sounds delicious. That sounds really, really good. That's my favorite scent for candles around the house. Hey now, what are you doing here, guys? Alright, I got him by 39,000 men now. Oh, he drove me back. Let's bring up some more help. And again, here's a spot where I could actually have used some cavalry right here. He's got this battery sitting outside the woods. Oh, I bet it does smell amazing right now in your house. That's kind of what they tell you to do if you're selling a house too, is, you know, bake some cookies. And that's the kind I would bake if I wanted to make it smell really good. Alright, we're coming down to the home stretch of this battle. And then I gotta make Chinese food for my family for dinner. I'm gonna make some sweet and sour chicken and rice. My daughter's at grandma's house, so I just gotta bake for the wife and my 2 sons. Oh, let's do a little merge here. Oh, come on. I hate when that happens. Alright, I'm gonna have to get some more help up here on this side. And a half thousand man advantage, so the casualties continue to mount up in my favor. And there's no need to rush into the objective. I'll take it soon enough. I'm going to go out and see if I can hit these batteries. Yeah, I see what you're saying, HOI. He's got all these men up here in the woods, but none on the actual objective. Yeah, Robert's in on that multiplayer game. Yeah, in the USA, you're just watching the world burn. But that's nice for you. I know it's not as exciting and fun for you, but you get to see what's happening, and then you can choose a little more carefully. But you're fascist, so I think your die is cast. Fascist United States. Eventually we'll take out the Allies, and then we'll probably have a showdown between fascism and communism for ruling the world. Alright, let's pull these guys back. They're not going to be able to get at those batteries right now. Yeah, they're going to end up retreating. Hey, there's the objective. He's pulling back now that he's lost it. And he's down to 24,000 men now. That's about as easy a battle of Chickamauga as I have fought. And it wasn't without its little hiccups, but it went along pretty well. Be a happy fascist dictator in 1979. Alright. I think this one's in the books. We'll just coast to a victory now. I really want to get those guns, though. I may not get there in time before this timer runs down. Cold War between the fascists and the commies. Okay. So there we have it. 15,000 casualties for me. Now, that's a tiny bit misleading, only because I added some men, but honestly, I hadn't lost that many casualties in the first phase, so that's probably pretty accurate. I may have lost 16,000, but over 40 for him when you add everything up. I'm real pleased with that. I'm gonna come out looking really good moving forward. Yeah, you know what? I've heard the rumors, Kohler, about the whole American Civil War thing and that new update. I haven't actually seen that anywhere official, but somebody said it's in the trailer that you can actually see that, so I don't know. But let's take a look at the situation as we get into 1864. We're going to be getting into these huge bloody battles. He's down to 85 to 90,000 men. The good thing is that his training and armory remain low. I'm going to have to spend some of these reputation points. And I'm looking at right now, what do I have? 32, 70, 80. I've got 90,000. I've got close to 100,000 men all told. But that's where we're going to wrap it up for today. And we'll come back at the same time, 4 p.m. Eastern U.S. time next Sunday with the next episode. And we'll fight our way through these battles. We'll see if we get to Cold Harbor. I may not get that far. I may only do Brock Road and Muleshoe. But we'll see how it goes. So HOI, they're talking about the new update, the new downloadable content coming out for Hearts of Iron 4. So, all right, so I'm out, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of this. As always, I really enjoyed it. If you missed any of the beginning, give it about an hour or so, and it'll be live on the channel as a viewable video. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And hit that thumbs up before you check out. And if you're on Twitch, please go ahead and follow me. And we'll see you again soon, guys. Take care.